Happy Friday, everybody. Sorry I missed last week. Last week was the 4th of July and Independence Day, so I hope everybody had a good holiday, regardless of how you celebrate it. This week, I want to talk about debt collection for the IRS. So, the traditional or the typical process that the IRS follows if you have a penalty or owe taxes to the IRS is let's say we file your tax return and you owe $10,000 in tax, and you don't pay it right away. They will send usually three letters for 3 months, starting after 3 months. So let's say we file right at the deadline, the extended deadline, October 15th. You usually get the first letter around the beginning of December. These letters will threaten to place a lien on your property, um, and they tell you need to pay right away. If you don't pay, well, first these letters are all completely done, sent, they printed without any human input whatsoever. It's all computer generated. They Their computer system generates the letter and mails it to you without any human interaction, all based on your account. That's of what we filed. First letter is sent in December. Typically, you'll get three letters, all saying pretty much the same thing, three or four letters each month. Then you won't hear anything from the IRS for a few months after that. Um, Somewhere around the 6 month mark to the year mark, depending on the amount that you owe, the IRS will then send you a letter that says they have reached out to a debt collection agency and the collection agency will follow up with you. This is if you do absolutely nothing. If you have a penalty, we typically respond to the IRS saying requesting forgiveness on the penalty. The IRS moves very, very slow, and so a lot of times this penalty will eventually get sent to a debt collection agency merely because the IRS has not opened the letter that we sent them requesting penalty forgiveness. If you owe money to the IRS for taxes and you start making monthly payments, typically they won't ever send it to a debt collection agency as long as they're seeing money come in on that account. They are required to pay the debt collection agency for their services, so they typically don't want to use the debt collection agency unless they see an absolute need for it. And this is all built into their computer system through algorithms and computer programming. Um, but you get the 6 months to a year point, you're going to get that letter from the IRS saying that they have reached out to a debt collection agency and the collection agency will follow up with you. Now, I have an example of one of these letters. They typically use two different agencies, and the letters pretty much look the same, just a different mailing address and different company name. I have removed all client information from this letter. So let's just go ahead and share screen and we'll look at this letter and kind of go through what it means. All right, so this one is from Conserve Debt Collection Agency, gives a mailing address up in the corner here. Um, then if you look at this, they tell you how much they think you owe. And then they tell you how to dispute. Respond by July 2nd to dispute all of it. If you contact us by July 2nd, we must stop collection on any amount you dispute, and they are required by law to do that. So all we have to do to this whole thing is respond to them and say, we've sent a letter to the IRS, and legally they cannot do anything. At that point, they typically reach out to the IRS to verify that information. And what I have seen happen is when we actually get one of these letters and we respond to it within the time frame, the account gets resolved faster. That's usually what I find. The penalty gets forgiven faster or anything like that. But instantly we just respond to it saying we've sent documentation to the IRS. Here it is in duplicate. Please reach out to the IRS. It's pretty much what I say. The other thing I want to point out on this letter, though, is this is again just a fear tactic, fear mongering by the IRS to get you to pay your taxes. So if we are disputing it at any point, this debt collection agency actually can't do anything. So if you when you look at this, they tell you to go to irs.gov, search for your tax transcript to look for proof. And then when you come down here and you look at payment options, option number one, pay the IRS electronically at irs.gov/payments. That's the exact same website I tell everyone to go to pay the IRS. Option two is to call them and discuss your payment options. Option three, mail a check payable to the United States Treasury to the Internal Revenue Service. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because in a traditional debt collection, let's say you bought a car, you got a loan on the car, and you defaulted on your payments. What will happen is the bank actually sells your debt to the debt collection agency, usually at like a 20% discount or something. So the bank gets their money from the debt collection agency, and then you are required to pay your debt to the debt collection agency, not the original bank that you had the loan through. The IRS, the federal government, is not allowed to sell your taxes. That's against the law. So, in all reality, this debt collection agency has no real authority to do anything to you. They are literally just contracted by the IRS to find you and use fear mongering tactics to make you think that they are coming after you. In all reality, the IRS still is in control, and you still have to pay any taxes due to the federal government paid to the IRS. Um, and then there's a way to dispute it. So typically we mark this, I want to dispute all of it for others. And then we send this in with our letter to the debt collection agency saying, hey, contact the IRS because we've already tried to fight this with the IRS directly. So these letters, there's nothing actually, this is all bark and no bite. There's nothing on this that is actually capable of hurting you, causing damages to you, attacking your credit because they can't actually do that. Ultimately, the only thing the federal government can do is put a lien on your property, and they do that usually within 5 to 10 years, depending on the amount that you owe, and they have to assign a real person to your account before they can do that. So this is just a scare tactic, but if we are trying to resolve a failure to file penalty, this is actually typically a good thing because it means your account is going to get cleared up sooner because now we will have the debt collection agency actually talking to the IRS as well, asking them to resolve this issue. So anyway, that's just a quick summary of these letters. Um, the they're just fear mongering tactics. Most of these letters are ways to scare you into compliance. And again, any letter you receive from the federal government about your taxes, please just forward to your CPA. We will review them and let you know what needs to be done. Most of the time, it's typically just send a response to the IRS, and then it's a waiting game while you continue to get these automated letters and even these automated letters from debt collection agencies. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully this video helps alleviate any stress or worry that you have once you start getting these letters. And have a wonderful weekend.